What is up, K&J Fam? I'm back once again with another video. Today, you guys, unfortunately, I am here by myself, of course. Kristen, who normally sits to my left, is not here. She is still dealing with the cold and stuff like that. Even myself, I still have a little bit of a cough that's coming in and out from time to time. But we wanted to do a fun video, I wanted to do a fun little video, talking a little bit of story time, kind of following up a video that Kristen actually did a couple days ago. And I wanted to touch on that. In addition to that, what you're looking at right here, if you're from Chicago, you probably already know what this is. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. This is Illuminati's Pizza. They are famous for their little deep dish pizza. Little deep dish, but I should say just deep dish pizza. They have the pizza sauce on top, cheese in the bottom. This is a pepperoni one. Their crust is phenomenal. So I'm super excited to eat this. I have to give a massive shout out. Massive shout out to Kristen's aunt. She actually sent this over, aunt and uncle actually. She sent this over to us for Christmas as a nice little Christmas gift. So I figured today I would just go ahead and eat it with you guys and kind of enjoy and talk a little bit. Let me go ahead, take this off of these little plastic things right here so I can cut it. Hopefully you guys can still kind of see it. I'll show you guys the inside, what it looks like. Looks really good. Hopefully I can cut it right. And by the way, I'm not going to only be the only one eating this, of course. I'm going to save some for Kristen for when she gets better. But until she gets better, I'll be enjoying it. All right, let's see. Oh, you're probably also wondering, why am I not using a pizza cutter? Well, we don't have one. So, no pizza cutter. Let me see if I can break that in half. Ooh, you guys, look at the inside. Like, I feel like that's the definition of like a pizza pie. You know what I'm saying? Like, this thing looks like a legit pie right there. So let me go ahead and put that over there for now. I will cut this right here. Oh, I'm so excited to try this. You guys, we have not had this since, well, actually, now that I think about it, actually last year, when we went out to Kristen's family's house, they actually had some frozen Illuminati's pizza as well that they received from family in Chicago too. So I'm excited to try this out. I'm excited. So it has been about a year since we've had it, but honestly, if we lived in Chicago, I'd be eating this like all the time. I'd be eating all the time. So we got the pizza, got some ranch right here, got some hot sauce, and you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about a little bit of a story when I knew that Kristen was the one. Because Kristen was talking about a video about how like we had our crazy breakup and stuff like that years ago. And so I want to do a video telling you guys why we got back together, how we got back together, and like how I knew she was the one. As soon as I can get this ranch out of here. No, I don't have a spoon with, oh no! You guys, I lost all the ranch. Okay, sorry about that, guys. When I was pouring out the ranch, I accidentally like emptied the whole bottle. It all came out in one little drop. So anyways, I put most of it back in there. It's okay because it landed on this cutting board. So, all right, let's take a bite of this really quick. I don't even know what I was talking about before. And maybe it doesn't even matter. All right, here we go. So good. Like I said, it's a pepperoni one. There's tomato sauce, of course, on top. I think what they're really, obviously they're known for their crust, of course, their deep dish. But I think, you know, even like their sauce and stuff, that's like, it's a custom sauce that they're kind of like known for too as well, I believe. Wow, this is so good. This is really good. I have actually had it fresh in Chicago, maybe two times since Chris and I went to Chicago and everything. And I do have to say, yes, obviously fresher is better. We did get these frozen, of course. But honestly, like, it's still very good. I mean, putting it in the oven and stuff like that, and it was probably made, if not the same day, probably a day before we actually, eat, the day before you eat it, So, and we've only had it in the freezer for maybe like a day. I love it. It's really good. And the crust, I like how it's like a cracker crust, That thing's delicious. So, a couple days ago, I think it was last week, Kristen did a video, pretty much talk about like our break and stuff like that. It's kind of nice doing these one-on-one videos because we can kind of tell stories and stuff like that a little bit. But we were talking about how, in the video, she was talking about how we had our first break, which was crazy. Of course, years and years ago. But I wanted to add on to it a little bit and kind of tell you guys like when I knew that Kristen was the one. I think for both of us, that moment kind of happens at different times, right? I would say, and long story short, I'm not sure if there was like an exact time where I was like, oh, she's the one, I know, and we're going to be together forever, blah, blah, blah. But there were moments, there's definitely moments for sure, I would even say, and I think this is kind of interesting, from what I remember, even before we did our breakup, I remember thinking like, well, we're going to just get back together and we're just going to continue this thing as if nothing happened. You know what I mean? Like, in my mind, even like, well, I should say while we broke up and stuff, I knew that we were going to get back together. Because although during that time we did have a lot of separation as far as like not hanging out as much or, we weren't connecting as much, I still knew that, I wanted to be with her. And, I'm assuming she wanted to be with me because I didn't hear anything any different, So, it's almost like I knew a little bit ahead of time before. It was one of the moments that I knew that I was going to, we were going to be, she was the one, But I do want to actually mention something. Back in high school, I thought this was actually really interesting. So back in high school, I don't think I've ever told Kristen this before. I had a girlfriend before I actually started dating Kristen, and it wasn't a super long relationship. I think the girl and I were together for maybe like 3 months, maybe 2-3 months. Very short, not long at all. Nothing was actually, it was actually perfectly fine. Nothing was crazy with the relationship. But towards the end of the relationship, it just seemed like the fire wasn't there still. You know what I mean? Like it just wasn't, 3 months in, like, the fire's not there. Like to say that was crazy, but during the time we just didn't seem to have, I don't know, that connection that it seemed like it, right? So we ended up breaking up. I remember after that though, telling myself, I literally was like, the next person I'm with, I'm just not going to break up with them. I'm going to like just give it a chance, see it out as long as it goes. I'm not breaking up. Obviously if the person doesn't want to be with me, that's different. But I'm not going to be the one to pull the breakup card, I'm just going to go with it as long as I can, Literally the next person I dated was Kristen. And it's interesting because, I almost want to say was a part of it like me kind of like creating this reality for myself, where I'm telling myself I'm not going to do it. So the next person I'm with, we're just going to be together forever. Did I create it like that? Or did it just happen to be, that I'm with somebody that I love and we were just meant to be together? I'm not sure, but I did always think that was interesting, I always thought that was really interesting. So I think when it comes down to when I knew Kristen was the one, like I said, there's probably different moments. I know for sure, when we were on our break, Like I said, knowing that in my mind knew we were going to get back together. So that was a part of it. But I would say maybe the first time I probably had like at least that I could think of, because I was thinking about this a little earlier today. When we got back together after that break, I did think in my mind like, okay, this is it. We're gonna do this long term. We're gonna be together. I wanted to be with her a lot. I just loved everything that we had. I loved who she was. I loved, just so many things about her. So I knew that we were going to be going for a long time. How long? I don't know. I didn't think that, but I knew she was going to be the one that I was going to be with for a long time. I would definitely say after the breakup for sure. That was a big part of it. We also had some problems that happened maybe, I'd say 6 years into our relationship. Big problems. And I think I remember for a good, probably a year, thinking like, I don't think we're going to make this. I do remember thinking that, like, I don't know if we're going to get through this. I don't know if it's possible to. We were just not, there's, bigger details, of course, which I won't go into, but we had a lot of problems, going during that time, and it just didn't feel right, I would say the one thing that I even find interesting now, the problems that we did have, I think there's a lot of couples, most couples would distance themselves. The distance happens, you're not sleeping in the same bed, you're not talking as much, you kind of put up your walls. I do have to say we didn't quite do that. We didn't actually do that at all. We still had a really close, tight relationship. It was just that there was, just some things that went down, where we were both just really, really unhappy with, And the reason why I'm telling this part is because I think after about a year, after we went through all of that, I remember we were living together at that time. I think there was even a plan. I was thinking of moving out, moving in with some friends and stuff like that. But after dealing with all of that stuff, I remember actually, I don't remember like a day or anything, but I remember us making it through it. We kind of got over it a little bit. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. This cough has been haunting me all, last week or so. It's crazy. But anyways, I remember after all the problems and everything, after these big problems, I remember thinking like, I'm happy all that happened. Because now I feel like we had gone through something that was so big that it brought us together even more. We were able to talk about things on a different level. We were able to have these communications on different levels. And it was actually a big deal. It was a really, really big deal. Much bigger than I would have ever imagined. Obviously when you have relationships, everyone gets tested. Everyone has these problems and you don't know how you're going to handle them. I would say we definitely handled them really, really well. Really well, and in a way where it made sense for the both of us. It worked out for the both of us. It changed both of us. It made us, kind of look at the relationship even in a better light. It allowed us to look at our relationship differently, I would say, in a more positive way. If that makes sense. So, why am I mentioning this? Because I think out of all the times, like I said, there were times here and there where I did think like, oh, Kristen, maybe she could be the one, maybe not. I didn't really think about that. But if there was one time I said to myself, this is ongoing, and this is going to go forever. It was after the 6-year mark, maybe 7-8 year mark. After all of that, and keep in mind, we were in our 20s at that time, I was like, this is it. This is who I'm going to be with forever. In my opinion, I knew she was the one because, there's so many things about Kristen that, you know, you guys aren't able to see on camera. I mean, you can see the fun loving side, of course, and, you know, you see who she is there, but there's so many things that, you know, it's hard to really convey. I would definitely say things that are personal to me, that help me grow as a person and become who I've become, that I don't think I could have been with anyone else that would have got me to this point, you know? And Kristen definitely helped me get there. And I definitely would say during that 6-7 year period, I was able to really work on my mindset and kind of get things, process things in a certain way that kind of built made me into the person I am today. And I'm super grateful for her. Not sure where I'm going with that, but the point is, Kristen has always been amazing. I've always loved her, and I think that was the first time I would say I thought to myself, like, I'm gonna love her forever. I'm gonna be with her forever, and I can't wait to enjoy the rest of my life with her. You know, so I would say that was definitely the time. And there was a couple times where we definitely didn't make it, though. I'll tell you that. There were definitely some times, excuse me, one time in particular where I literally think I was going to break up with her, like, I think within the week. So it was, I don't know. It's funny now that I think about it, because like I was telling you guys about the relationship, I was in a relationship before Kristen. I was together with this person for about 3 months. About 3 months into Kristen and I relationship or so, she had gone to Hawaii, and I can't remember the specifics, but I remember thinking like, if she doesn't, oh, that's what it was. Like, she was supposed to bring me back something. She said she was going to bring me back something, and there was a reason why it was so important for her to bring me back something, and I can't remember exactly why. It wasn't because I was like, oh, I just wanted you to bring me back a gift, but there was a particular reason, something that I was kind of unhappy about early in our relationship. And I was in my mind, I was like, well, if she's not bringing me back something, then maybe she's not even thinking about me. Maybe she's not even wanting to be with me. Who knows? So she comes back from Hawaii, doesn't say anything about having anything for me. We're just kind of like hanging out, you know, at our little kick it spot. And I just remember thinking in my mind, like, this is going to be it. I was like, she didn't get me anything. She's not thinking about me. Like, this isn't going to work. Obviously, I'm like insecure at the time thinking about this stuff, you know? And then like towards the end of hanging out, I think as we were about to leave, she was like, I got a bracelet for you from Hawaii. And I think she got something else too for me. And I was like, really? I was like, no, really? And I couldn't believe it. And yeah, she brought me the bracelet and whatever else it was. I can't remember what the other thing was. And that was a big moment too, because going from thinking this person isn't thinking about me, isn't focused on me, you know, isn't thinking about our relationship and stuff like that, from going from that to, oh, wow, she's actually thinking about me. And, you know, even when she's out of town, you know, and on vacation and stuff like that. That actually meant a lot to me, you know? Like I said, I think a lot of it was my own insecurities and stuff like that. But at the same time, it did actually help me to, once again, grow into that better person that, you know, I want to be, you know? So anyways, yeah, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Just kind of going down memory lane. Think about our relationship. I definitely, it's hard to, I think about this a lot. Sorry, guys. My mind's working. I think about this a lot. You know, we've been together since high school. So there's always this thought where I'm just like, did I just get lucky and just like find this like soulmate type person, and we just happen to just mesh together, and that was just how it is? And maybe there's a part of it that's like that. But I think at the end of the day, you know, there's so many things I love about Kristen, you know, and there's things that that she does as far as like kindness. I think I've talked about this before, like how kind she is, you know, and she comes off, you know, very, you know, she's very friendly. You know, if you've met her in person, you kind of know her energy and how friendly she can be and things like that. And just caring and loving, especially definitely very loving. And there's also this thing about her, I think a lot of people really like that's kind of hard to really explain, but it's this, you let your guard down around Kristen. Like, she's very good at talking to you and listening and allowing you to kind of talk about, you know, whatever is on your mind. And it makes people, I think, get a little bit closer to her and stuff. And that's what helped me out a lot, right? Because, you know, being able to listen to me. And, you know, men, as a guy, I should say, you know, we want respect, you know? Kind of a big thing. So for someone to listen and, you know, be like, oh yeah, listen to me, and, you know, be thinking of me and just like I'm thinking of her and stuff like that, it really helped me out, you know, as I'm younger, dealing with my insecurities and stuff like that. And once again, growing into this person who I am today, you know? So, you know, yeah, I just love Krista very much. I'm happy that we found each other in high school, and I'm just looking forward to just continuing life with her, and yeah, just making it happen forever. So, okay, you guys, but thanks so much. I'm rambling, I'm talking and stuff like that, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This pizza was phenomenal. Definitely shout out once again to Kristen's family for sending this over to us. I'm not gonna lie, I might dig into the other pizzas because she sent us a few of them. I might be digging into the other ones tonight because it's that good. So, other than that, you guys, we'll see you tomorrow with another video. Hopefully, Kristen will be feeling better. She might even show up in the next video, guys. So we'll see what happens. All right, well, I'll catch you next time. Peace.